Hi, Joe Powers, CEO at Hemp, and like you, I have a powerful reason why I chose to be in the cannabis space. My journey began back in 2011 when I had an incident in the nuclear military that required a prescription. It was about that time that I discovered what all cannabis had to offer. The details of my particular story are for another time and place, but it was at that precise moment that led me on the journey that I'm on today. Throughout my journey leading up to now, I've met countless of individuals who had incredible stories about how cannabis just completely changed their lives. After hearing so many amazing stories over the past 14 years, I found myself in complete and utter awe of the vast potentials that cannabis had in nearly every aspect of life. I first entered into the cannabis industry a few years before Colorado or Washington legalized it at the state level. So when I got started 14 years ago and my passionate fires of desire started burning deep, I realized several years later that all I ultimately wanted was for people to have affordable access to a variety of quality cannabis products without paying an excessive amounts of money to access it. Before entering the cannabis industry, I started my first company back in 2011 where I focused on high fashion model photography. But after learning from the best photographers for over a year, I learned from a photography business coach that it wasn't necessarily the best photographer that made the most money, it was the best marketer that made the most money. When I learned this, I quickly found that nearly every professional photographer I interacted with was not focusing on marketing. Instead, they were focusing on making a better photograph by using more expensive equipment and the latest software. From this epiphany, I realized that I didn't necessarily have too much competition when it came down to marketing photography services. This was about the time I created my first viral marketing campaign that was receiving 50,000 engagements per day during the peak of the campaign. After hosting this 5-week-long top model competition, I realized that I was spending about 85% of my time marketing and very little time actually clicking the camera. At this point, most of my marketing time was spent creating my website, doing the traditional marketing tasks, doing manual outreach, building packages and services, building offers, etc. I realized that it didn't take too long to get my photography skills to that base level of quality where I was easily able to compete with some of the best photographers in my network. Once I had a fantastic brand and services, all I had to do was figure out how to actually sell my services consistently. Long story short, I had no idea how hard it was actually going to be to consistently sell services that also paid for my cost of living month over month and year over year. After spending a ton of energy trying to figure out how to market photography services that paid for my cost of living year over year, I ran into my first wall and I got burned out. I spent the next 5 years actively studying business professionals from a variety of different disciplines. When I was 14 years old, I read the book Think and Grow Rich the first time, and what I got from reading this the first time was persistence. Keep persisting. You're only 3 feet away from gold. Don't stop. Then in 2011, the Tim Ferriss book, The 4-Hour Work Week, taught me to free up my time by focusing on building a life to where I could free up my time and spend my time doing what I actually loved doing. Ultimately, I learned that I really enjoyed solving hard problems, specifically hard marketing problems, and coupling that with trying to solve the worldwide global cannabis injustices. At this point, I went deep, I got obsessed, and I started researching cannabis from nearly every single angle, from, the medical, recreational, the industrial, all the way to like the spiritual, religious points of view. Simultaneously, I was also obsessed with the marketing psychology and how to get people to take action, specifically the actions that they already wanted to take but were a little bit hesitant and they just needed a little bit more information and just a little bit encouragement to take the action that they knew they already wanted to take. Those 5 years of actively studying business professionals was essentially my hard knocks college education training in marketing and just the cannabis industry as a whole. So what finally made me break through this wall was what I now refer to as the baby birthday epiphany. This epiphany almost immediately led to me quitting my full-time job to pursuing cannabis SEO marketing full-time as an independent contractor. The quick version of the story started while I still had a full-time job in San Diego working at the airport in 2016. I found out from HR on the last day of the time I took off to celebrate my daughter's first birthday at SeaWorld that I wasn't going to be getting paid for this paid time off. When I learned I wasn't going to be getting paid, I got furious, and that's when the final straw broke, where I had my "that's it, aha moment. That moment of rage gave me a massive jolt of energy that led me to making a constructive decision about the situation that I was currently in. So I immediately blew past all of my previous fears that was holding me back, and I immediately started publishing content like crazy, just on every single forum I could think of about some of the interesting things I was learning about cannabis throughout the years. So one article I published that I also created a video for started getting attention. So this led to a cannabis tour company actually reaching out to me and proposing that I write fun, entertaining, interesting articles about cannabis for their company's website. The epiphany I had from this situation was that by taking massive action led to massive results. After my first client hired me to write articles, I started getting several other companies reaching out to me to also write articles for their company. I had a handful of clients at the time, and then I had my first big cannabis company reach out to me to write content for them. This was my first massive failure where I lost my first contract. I started learning from bigger companies and companies in general that they required specific services that I wasn't then equipped to handle. Companies started requesting very specific writing styles and specific writing tones. Like with learning photography, it didn't take me too long to get my writing style up to that base level of quality where I was easily able to compete with any other writer within my network. The more I worked on getting my writing style to a certain level of quality, the more companies started reaching out to me to start writing content for them, and then they started asking for specific SEO, search engine optimization services. So even though CEOs and marketing managers really enjoyed my writing style, they started asking for very specific search engine optimization requirements that involved using specific keywords in a specific way throughout the content I was creating for them. After working with dozens of different cannabis companies that also required additional SEO services, I started learning that there was a vast amount of different styles and theories that involved SEO and how they went about implementing their strategies. So one cannabis company I worked with required really long articles that required a specific keyword density using a variety of different keywords, while other companies required specific links on certain keywords interlinking the content within their website, while also requiring external links to authoritative research. This was just a short list of the different SEO theories that different cannabis companies thought they needed to help them dominate the search engines. So at that point, I was essentially just drifting and just kind of going with the flow with whatever the company thought was the best SEO strategy for them at the time. Even though I was finding that every company had a different conflicting SEO theory strategy, it appeared as if each company was essentially just using guesswork to establish and implement their SEO tactics and strategies. So after working with over 100 different cannabis companies, I started noticing patterns, and I developed a plan to start taking the guesswork out of SEO. So after 8 years of immersing myself in cannabis SEO strategy, the patterns I started to notice starting to emerge essentially fell under 4 very specific categories, which I now refer to as the 4-pillar SEO system. So this system I developed over the last 8 years took a more holistic approach while targeting all 4 of these pillars. So these 4 pillars essentially set the foundation for how to win the long-term strategy against your competitors in the search engine optimization world. Briefly, these 4 pillars include technical, on-page, off-page, and content. The first pillar of SEO is technical SEO that focuses on the under-the-hood tactics that fine-tunes the nuts and bolts of how your website actually plugs into the Google search engine algorithms that actually allows for the search users to find your website without anything preventing your website from being properly indexed and found in Google. The second pillar of SEO is on-page SEO, which deals with the structure and architecture of the content on your actual website. The third pillar of SEO is off-site SEO, where we build authority by having external websites, authoritative external websites linking to your website and getting that authoritative link juice from the more authoritative websites. Finally, the fourth pillar of SEO is content SEO, and this pillar targets keywords on all levels of the sales funnel. Well, the two primary reasons that users go to Google essentially boils down to two search intents. People go to Google to either learn something new or to buy something. This is the stage where we create high quality, engaging content that converts casual visitors into leads and sales. Now let me pull back the curtain on what it took to build this 4-pillar SEO system. And trust me, it wasn't all smooth sailing. There were quite a few bumps, big ones. You know that saying about how experts are someone that's made all the mistakes? Well, I've earned that title the hard way. SEO is a vast, ever-changing, complex system that's a little bit intimidating. But here's what I've learned through years of trial and error, is that SEO isn't just another marketing tactic. SEO is a long-term investment that keeps paying off, delivering results long after the ad budget and other shiny marketing tactics dry up. Sounds great, right? But here's where the conflict kicks in, and it's a big one. SEO isn't a one-size-fits-all game. Every cannabis business I've worked with has a different website, different challenges, and different starting points. For some, results explode immediately, while others is a slow burn where it takes up to 6 months or more before they start to see the needle budge. That's the reality, and it's frustrating even when using the 4-pillar SEO system that I've developed over the years. I kept running into the same wall. Results take time, even a little bit longer than clients expect when they're chasing this year's ROI from SEO. Let's compare that with pay-per-click advertising. With PPC, it's simple. Pump money into ads and bam! Instant, measurable results. You can tweak things on the fly and you can scale it up, and it's simple. Spend more and you get more. But SEO is a bit of a different animal. You're putting in the work, consistent strategic effort, and for the first 3 months it can feel like nothing's happening. Dead silence. Then right around the 3 to 6 month mark, something starts shifting. By the 8-month mark, it's not just creeping up, it's climbing fast. Exponential growth that leaves PPC in the dust over time. But here's the rub. Most businesses don't want to wait. They want fast and they want now. And the tension between the promise of massive, lasting results and the patience it takes to get there, that's the conflict I've had to struggle with every step of the way. Here's the thing. After 14 years in marketing, specifically the last 8 years laser focused on SEO, I started noticing the repeat patterns starting to emerge. Success in SEO wasn't a mystery anymore, and one particular case study was where I had that aha transformational moment where it all started to click. It's a pattern I saw over and over again where a client would hire me and we'd implement the 4-pillar SEO system and then we'd see crickets. They didn't receive results fast enough, they'd get frustrated, and then they'd give up. But then about 1 to 3 years later, they would come back to me to start using my services again. So why would clients leave after a few years and then come back? Well, because they finally started to get it. The truth about SEO and realize that it's not a sprint, but more of a slow burn that slowly snowballs into a wildfire. This one particular client is a perfect example. They'd come and go, and it didn't really matter that I was pouring everything into this 4-pillar SEO system, going above and beyond and stretching their budget as far as it could possibly go, and then some. They still walked away. And eventually came back. They'd still walk away, but when they did come back, still skeptical as ever about SEO in general, they essentially said, look, we've tried this with you before, several years ago, and it didn't work out then, and we don't believe you're going to be able to pull this off for us, even after we've tried it with several other SEO providers over the past 3 years. They were 100% convinced that I was going to fail and not produce the specific SEO result that they were looking to achieve from not only me, but a handful of other SEO providers. Essentially, they've been burned so many times before that they've built a wall around being able to see what was possible with SEO if given the proper amount of time and patience. I got them on a live call, and then right then and there, I said, watch this, and within minutes, Not months, not years, I was able to produce the specific SEO result that they were working so hard to achieve. That's the moment where everything started to click for them. That's when they started to see what I'd already known all along, that it isn't about quick fixes or empty promises. SEO is all about knowing the game inside and out and having a system that works. Here's what I've learned from grinding it out from working with over 100 cannabis companies, is that the real magic of SEO, there isn't some secret sauce or magic hack. It's in persistence, long-term enduring persistence. It's in persistence, relentless, focused persistence. The kind of persistence that just doesn't dabble in one area, but hits every corner of SEO, zeroing in on what needs work and then hammering away until you break through. Every cannabis company I've worked with is its own unique beast with different challenges and different vibe, but the path to winning is essentially the exact same every time. Several years ago, I decided to stop messing around and build something that was real. I poured everything I learned into creating this 4-pillar SEO system, which is a rock-solid framework for tackling all 4 pillars of SEO. This is powered by hardcore data about your company and your toughest competitors. I had one client with standard SEO with decent gains, but nothing wild. Then we unleashed the 4-pillar SEO system, and holy smokes, their results didn't just inch up, they more than doubled year over year, month over month. Organic traffic, leads, and sales went through the roof. That's when everything finally clicked. This wasn't just another system, it was a complete transformation. I first started out wanting to educate people about cannabis, to shine a light on the industry that I absolutely love. But with this 4-pillar SEO system, I did more than just that. I built the most comprehensive cannabis SEO system that was available on the market, hands down, and it was changing the game for retailers. It produced organic reach that stretched further than anything they could have imagined. Leads were starting to flood in without breaking the bank, and sales were starting to pile up. So this is what transformation with SEO looks like. It's taking a business from just surviving to thriving. What does all this mean for you? I'm offering you a chance to tap into my 4-pillar SEO system that's transformed cannabis businesses just like yours. This isn't some generic SEO system. It's a custom-built, battle-tested system that's built specifically for the cannabis industry, retailers, growers, brands, you name it. We're talking organic traffic that floods your sites, leads that turn into loyal customers, and sales that start stacking month over month, year over year. Here's the deal. Most cannabis businesses are bleeding money on marketing efforts that don't stick. You've got PPC ads that are draining your marketing budget, and the moment you stop paying, the traffic stops. Or maybe you've tried SEO before and it was a little bit of a mess. Some freelancer or SEO agency was essentially guessing their way through keywords, leaving you stuck on page 10 while your competitors were eating your lunch. So that's the problem in this industry. Visibility is everything. If you're not dominating the search results, you're essentially invisible. It stings a little bit watching your hard work get buried because you didn't implement the right system. Your competitors are out there raking in customers that should be yours, customers that would absolutely love your products if only they could find you. But here's the solution, my 4-pillar SEO system. It's not guesswork, it's a proven playbook. Technical SEO to get Google's attention, on-page SEO to turn your site into a lead magnet, backlinks to build your authority, and content to convert casual visitors into loyal customers. I spent the last 14 years cracking this code so you don't have to. You get results, sustainable, exponential results that leave quick fixes like PPC in the dust. Simply head over to hemprider.com and fill out the application to see if you qualify for our 4-pillar SEO system. Filling out this form takes less than 2 minutes, and you can book a free strategy session with me if you qualify. On that call, we'll dig into your business, your goals, and your competition. I'll show you exactly where you're leaving money on the table and how this 4-pillar SEO system can fix it. No fluff, no salesy nonsense, just a custom, tailored solution for you. I only work with cannabis businesses that are serious about winning the long-term game. Companies that are ready to invest in a system that takes months to ignite but pays off year over year. If you're just chasing a quick overnight fix, this system isn't for you. I'm looking for partners that get the game and are ready to do whatever it takes to dominate it. You've got to move fast. I'm only taking on 5 new clients this quarter. That's it. Because I pour everything into the system. My time, my team's expertise, and my obsession with getting you results. Once these spots are filled up, they're gone. And trust me, they fill up quick. Every day you wait, your competition is clawing their way to the top of Google and you're losing ground. Don't let this happen to you. Lock in your spot now. If you're still on the fence, here's my guarantee to you. If you don't start seeing measurable growth in your organic traffic within 90 days of starting with us, as in more visitors, more leads, more buzz in general, I'll work for free until we start seeing that measurable result. I've seen it work for over 100 different cannabis companies, and I know it'll work for you. Let's wrap this up. You've got a chance to transform your business with this 4-pillar SEO system that's custom built for the cannabis industry, that's proven to drive traffic, leads, and sales. The problem is that you're losing customers to bad marketing or no visibility in the search engine. The solution is my 4-pillar SEO system that I spent the last 14 years honing in on. Go to hemprider.com and book your free strategy session with me today. But act fast because there's only 5 spots available this quarter. And with my 90-day guarantee, you really have nothing to lose. Let's get you to the top of Google together.